he's not a patient of mine, so it's hard for me to really create or extrapolate that much of a cognitive.
All right, I don't want to make this too long. So the bottom line with this guy is he's a neurosurgeon and he's like, yeah, I have concerns about President Biden. He's not my patient, but just observing what we're all observing, something is seriously wrong right here and we all need to be aware of it. And this is not something that's new. As you are aware, this has been concerns with Joe Biden for quite some time. Here's a interview he did in 2022 with 60 Minutes. And I want you we're just going to listen to a snippet of this right here. Listen to the difference he was 2 or 3 years ago compared to what he is right now. I think you're going to find this quite striking because the way he acts in this interview versus the way he talks now, at least in my opinion, is stark. There's a huge difference. So let's take a quick peek and let me know what you think.
What can you do better and faster?
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective. Inflation rate month to month was just an inch, hardly at all.
You're not
Have you noticed
arguing
his?
that 8.3 is good news.
No, I'm not saying.
Look at his face. His face looks different. Right now, his face looks like he's not home. Looks like he's lost. It just doesn't look right. Folks, tell me. I know I'm nuts myself, but I admit it. Am I wrong? The way he looks, the way he talks. So this is supposed to be from 2022. So you got 2 years, 3 years at best, depending on exactly when this was filmed. I mean, come on.
Saying is good news, but it was 8.2 or 8.2 before. I mean, it's not, maybe I can make it sound like all of a sudden, my God, it went to 8.2%.
It's the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that. But guess what we are? We're in a position where.
Look, folks, it's just completely different. The man here is clearly lucid. He's making direct eye contact. He's bantering back and forth. He's engaging. It's just a different Joe Biden at this particular time period than what there is now. To me, it's just stark. I want to take one look at one more thing before I go into the diagnosis, and we'll just go ahead and get to the meat. You get these idiots, these clowns on these different platforms. This guy here that I'm going to show you briefly, it just kind of cracks me up, but this is the kind of nonsense that we're all fed day in and day out. This is a guy on the X platform. I think this will come through the way I want to. Listen to this dork. This guy is a complete idiot. He's hammering MAGA and about people making comments about President Joe Biden. So we're just going to listen to a few seconds of this here.
Guys, I'm getting so sick of the far right with their nonsense about Joe Biden. He can't walk. He's in the bunker. He's got Alzheimer's. Do we remember a president named FDR? Does that ring a bell? Well, guess what? FDR was confined to a wheelchair. He ended the Great Depression. He created Social Security. Last I remember, he also won World War II. So all of you morons out there that are complaining about Joe Biden, he's in the bunker, he has Alzheimer's, because don't get me wrong, I'm sure all of you have medical degrees and you've all given Joe Biden a personal physical. FDR proved that he can do it all confined to a wheelchair.
Yeah, this guy, take a look at that face, folks. I want you to remember that face. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the face of an idiot, the face of a complete moron. First of all, pushing the limits. I guess that's his handle on the X platform. There is a vast difference between someone with a physical handicap of being confined to a wheelchair and somebody who has the actual mental decline inside of their brain on a neurological level. It may be one thing if I couldn't walk, but it's a completely different thing for a president when a president cannot even have proper thoughts, cannot acknowledge another person, cannot walk correctly, wanders off, not able to find his way off stage. I mean, who does this guy think he's kidding? What a complete idiot. All right. Now, I want to get into the meat of exactly what I think is going on. And I have to tell you, obviously, the obvious. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to play one on YouTube. All right. So we're going to take a quick peek at this. So what I did is I went ahead. You know, I love that Chat GPT. I love this AI and some of this other stuff that we have going on nowadays. And obviously, Chat GPT is not the the most smartest thing in the entire world. It can be wrong, whatever, but I do believe it's worth discussing this with them. And that's exactly what I want to do at this time. So let's go ahead and let's take a quick peek. I asked Chat GP, whatever, I said, hey, listen, I want you to give me a straight up assessment of what's going on here with the president. And I told it, I said, hey, listen, all right, here we go. We got a better screen this way. I need you. This is what I told it in this box here in the middle. I need you to help me do some speculating. I didn't want to say it pertains to President Joe Biden, because anything to do with somebody that's a particular person, it basically will start locking up and it just won't cooperate with you. But I asked, I said, hey, listen, I'm thinking of a hypothetical man that is 81 years of age. And this 81-year-old man who is white, lives in the United States, is having bizarre episodes of suddenly freezing up and kind of looking like he's lost. And at times, the same person seems to be extremely confused. What kind of diseases or disease processes would these symptoms be indicative of? If you need me to answer additional questions in order to form hypothetical responses, please let me know. And it responded accordingly. The symptoms you're describing for an 81-year-old white man in the United States, episodes of suddenly freezing up, looking lost, experiencing extreme confusion, could be indicative of several medical conditions. Here are some of the possibilities. And the number one thing it came up with was Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and then a few other ones that it listed here. Okay. And I think that's kind of obvious. However, I went ahead and I said, because I wanted to zoom in a little bit more on this, I said, okay, I definitely want to narrow this down. I would say this hypothetical situation involves a person who has been exhibiting symptoms of walking away and confusion trying to get off the stage. And additionally, the person looks often like they're frozen. The symptoms can come and go, because occasionally they do, but it is clear when you look at the person, most of the time, they seem elderly. They seem not able to answer questions. Duration and frequency would be very random, and it seems to go away when another person helps them or gives them redirection. The individual does not have any known ongoing medical history, because that's true. We don't know of any ongoing medical history with President Biden. And of course, we're just speculating. What would you think it is on, I think I messed my words up here, but I'm asking, what do you think is the most likely cause given this set of symptoms? All right, so the AI Chat GPT responds, given the additional details you provided, the most likely causes for the hypothetical 81-year-old man experiencing episodes of freezing, confusion, and needing redirection could be Parkinson's disease and what they call Lewy body dementia. Now, Parkinson's disease, this condition often involves episodes of freezing, especially when trying to initiate movement or navigating obstacles.